Alexei Sayle, it's 5 minutes. Please, will you count us down?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Adelante.
Are you a passionate man?
Am I a passionate man? That makes me sound like some kind of roue trying to get girls on Hampstead Heath into his Alfa Romeo. I care about things passionately, yes, but passionate man, I don't know.
How would you describe yourself in a sentence?
In a sentence, I would describe myself as an overweight, bald man who surprisingly has managed to avoid diabetes so far.
Tell me 3 interests of yours.
3 interests: cycling. I have a racing bike, and I go to Regent's Park every day, and I cycle round and round, dressed in tight lycra, and I chase other men in tight lycra. I am interested in all-you-can-eat buffets, and I'm looking always for the cheapest, let's say the cheapest, but the best value, you know, to trade off between price and choice of, you know, chicken wings. And I like very much to randomly drop sentences of Spanish into my conversation to try and falsely give the impression that puedo hablar el lenguaje.
Are you a big reader?
I have been a big reader in the past. I tend to now only read cuando estoy en vacaciones en España.
Do you see yourself as an intellectual? Are you a big thinker?
I think there are. I wouldn't really call myself an intellectual, but there are. People always ignored the intellectual strand in my comedy. You know, that they saw the fat man, sweaty man in the tight suit, and didn't kind of forgot really that often, you know, he was talking about Brecht or Wittgenstein. You know, and people kind of, because they couldn't fit it into a kind of a box, you know, they chose to ignore that aspect of my humour, I think.
How do you look back on the Alexei Sayle of the 1980s?
Well, he's still paying for my all-you-can-eat buffet.
In royalties?
But in royalties, yes. The checks still flutter through the door with DVD sales and, cable rights in Belgium and stuff.
Did you enjoy being on the alternative comedy circuit?
Enjoy? I don't know. You know, when you're in, I don't know if enjoy is the right word, really. I don't think I ever actually really enjoyed being a stand-up comedian, because it was a kind of desperate drive to be successful, you know, and, you know, especially I think when you're in the middle of kind of creating an art form, really, which is what we did. It's sometimes you are ecstatic, it's dizzying, but enjoyment doesn't really encompass the feeling, really.
Did you feel you were on a mission, in a sense?
A mission? Well, I said the central drive was, you know, certainly in my case, was to make me famous. But
how did you enjoy that fame? Or how did you experience that fame when it came?
I went crazy for about 6 months. You know, became a terrible arse. But then my friends kind of staged an intervention and told me to stop it. Kidnapped me, took me to a motel room, hit me with hammers. I stopped.
Do you now, in 2011, still see yourself as a comic?
I do, in a way. I mean, I think that although I haven't done stand-up comedy for 15 years, I feel tremendously at home with comedians, and I've started forcing my attentions on a whole new generation of young comedians. People like Stuart Lee and a guy called Josh Howie and stuff. I've really forced them. They will be my friends simply because of my place in history. They don't like me. But so, yeah, I see myself as a comic, although I am essentially a writer, you know.
How important is comedy to a society?
Well, it's very important, isn't it, to societies, you know, under stress. You always get that kind of gallows humour, you know, in oppressed societies, I guess. I don't know though. I mean, I think the humour between people is a humour between friends is an expression of love, you know. So I think that's very important. If you're talking about professional comedy, at the moment it's all terribly cautious, isn't it? Really. So
Quick.
what people want is bland
Bland.
guff from Michael McIntyre.
Very nice to see you.